Mr. Jerry Vaval. What's going on, bloody?
JTG.
What up, what up, what up, what up?
Not much is welcome the audience to another episode of Giant Fundamentals, the podcast dedicated to empowering men by tackling the vital issues of mental health. With that being said, I want to ask you first, how's your mind? How's your body? How's your heart? What are you grateful for?
You haven't asked me first in a minute now.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Mind. I feel my mind feels clear. My heart feels at ease. And my body feels rested. Overall, my giant gratitude is there is something that I recognized in the last couple of days where, you grow up in such a very critical and negative environment. Your thoughts are critical, judgmental, and negative. Even the people that are they may be bubbly on the outside, or they may be like, life of the party, they may seem positive on the outside. Even those people who have grown up in an environment that's critical and negative and judgmental, their inner voice mirrors the environment that they grew up in. But on the outside, they look so on and so forth. And I know this because I work with people like that. And a couple of our friends are like that too. I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't realize that you were negative like that. So I've been actively, I don't know for how long, maybe like the last, 4 years, I've been actively changing the way I think, not just about what I'm doing, but about who I am as a person. I'm actively changing my thoughts to a more positive way of thinking. So there's a thing that I was thinking about just I was leaving Publix, and I was like I was applying like fruit and meat and things of that nature. And then, of course, you go to the store, you want to buy whatever you're into. You want to buy chips, you want to buy cookies, whatever you're into, right? You want to buy those things.
Right.
And I immediately told myself, no, I can't buy these things because they're unhealthy and it's not good for me.
Right.
Now, that sounds factual. That sounds pretty simple. It's like, all right, yeah. But I was like, what is the reverse thought of that? Instead of me saying no to myself, what am I saying yes to? So I recognized at that time, okay, when I say no to something, I'm saying yes to something else. So let me focus on what I'm saying yes to. I'm saying yes to good health, good heart, good brain function, good body. Like, that's what I'm saying yes to. I was like, oh, this is a more positive way to think. Because when you say no, especially let's say you say no to a child, how do kids act when you say no to them? They right, they act like kids. But if you point out what you're saying yes to, it's like, oh, you have something to look forward to. You have something like, okay, this is good. So that was a major epiphany for me. And then it got me going down the track and the train of thought of growing up in such a negative environment. Because for me, my inner voice has always been no, 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 you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't. That's always been the voice inside, and I've never thought about, but what am I saying yes to?
Wow.
Yeah. That's my giant gratitude to come to that realization.
It's something very small but big in the grand scheme of things. Because sales psychology is funny. You always want to get the customer or the client to say yes as much as possible. So even when I call someone and say, hey, did I catch you at a bad time? They say yes. They say no, but that's the only no that I want. I want that out early. Then throughout the call, I'm like, hey, wouldn't you see the benefit of this? They're like, yes. What would your life look like? It was like talking in positives and yes as much as you can, because that is supposed to lead you to the best possibility of a sale. Yeah. So it's funny that you say that, because it's like, wow, like I'm so used to just telling myself no that I don't even realize how negative I'm being to myself by just saying, even though it's the intent is positive.
Yes.
right? But I'm just so used to telling them, and then I get frustrated, like you said, like a child. I just get frustrated with the no, and I wild out, and I have
Yeah.
tequila for 4 straight. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Because
So
what no is like saying I can't. I can't. And then it's more so like, oh, I'm not worthy. It just goes down to a deeper rabbit hole and we don't recognize that. But if you
yeah,
say yes, yes is attached to abundance. Yes is
yeah,
attached to the world is my oyster. The world is my playground. Yes is attached to all those different things. And then you automatically gonna feel better about yourself. You're gonna feel good.
yep,
Yeah.
yep.
So
Yeah, that's very good stuff. My mind feels clear. Uh, my heart feels optimistic. I feel very hopeful and optimistic just in my present time period. Not even something that I feel about. Sometimes we feel optimistic and it's about the future. No, I feel optimistic right now about the present, which is very different for me. My body feels sore because I had a basketball game yesterday in the men's league, the 40 and up league. Shouts out to Rock City Hoops. Uh, they kicked my ass yesterday, but we won. We went out with a victory.
that's what
And then
matters.
my giant gratitude is relatability. I am grateful for our podcast. I'm grateful for the lives that we're changing through this medium and the feedback that you've been getting from your clients and how much has been helping them as well as other people that I've met that I've passed it along to, friends, family. And it's a quote that I heard somewhere. I don't know where I got it from, but it's like the shepherd must smell like the sheep. And I think, yeah, and I think that our podcast does so well because we smell like the sheep. We're relatable. Nothing that we're talking about is in theory. We are actively going through this as we're going through our work, our healing journey. And that's something that I'm grateful for.
The shepherd must smell like the sheep. Ain't that some shit?
Yeah.
Some
you
sheep
know,
shit. Some cheap
did
shit.
you did it. Not cheap shit, but sheep shit. You know what I mean? Yes, yes.
Oh man.
That's something that I wanted to bring to the podcast. I'm like, yeah, this is that's a great giant gratitude for me. And I see your mind kind of swirl like I don't know if you swirl it in the shit, but you what did that bring to your mind when I brought that up?
The importance of really doing the work. Like there's only a certain level of connection that you can have with your clients if you're not doing the work or you haven't done it. Like I kind of think of like Harriet Tubman.
Mm.
She had to go through the trail first, the Underground Railroad. She essentially, of course, with other people that are not mentioned, but her and some others, they created that path.
Yeah.
But they had to go through it first. You go through it first, then you can you know the play. You know the play. You know how to get there. All right, you
Mm.
know how to get there. Boom, you give it to somebody else, and then you go back. And you give it to somebody else, and then you give it to somebody else because you
Mm.
know what it takes. You know what to do. You know where to go. You know who not to speak to. So on and so forth. I liken it to like LeBron coming down to Miami. Yeah, LeBron has always been a winner and a champion, but not on the highest stage in the NBA. Came down to Miami, he learned how to win a championship, and then he keeps winning after that. He knows how to get there. He knows how to bring others along, and that's
Mm-hmm.
just everything in life. Like you have to be able to go through it and experience it. Not something that you're just reading in a book.
Mm-hmm.
Not something that you just go to school for. That's what I try to tell my clients all the time. They were like, "Man, I got more out of you in this one session. We've only been meeting for 20 minutes than 6 sessions from another therapist." And I'm
Wow.
like, it's because I don't know what they do. I'm not gonna say I don't know it. I don't know the other therapists, but I know for me, I live this. This is what I do. It's who I am. Not what I do, it's who I am. Like I value the growth. I value the healing. I'm going through the ups and downs emotionally and mentally. I'm shifting certain beliefs. I'm taking certain action that completely goes against my old identity to shift into a new identity. This is who I am. So I can speak with a level of conviction and surety that maybe another therapist can't speak to.
Yeah. And we're leading the way. We're leading the
Either
way.
way.
With that being said, bro, what is our M&M's, our mental health music this week?
Well, I got the song that I'm making.
Okay.
I got the song that I'm making.
We got pre-production going on. Okay.
Yeah. I got the song that I'm making. You know, Jason actually just texted me right before we got on and asked me to perform again.
Oh,
I don't know.
nice.
Yeah, I don't know when though, but so it's a song. What's the name of it? I don't remember the name of it. What's it called? Still Dreaming. That's what it's called. It's
Mm-hmm.
called Still Dreaming. So I say, life's a bitch. She's attempted to try and crush your soul. Life's a risk. Playing it safe. You're trying to gain control. Life's a twist. You're not knowing which direction to go. But life is bliss if you're brave enough to just let go. It is highly advised to let life run its course while trusting its process, staying connected to source. This is a shedding, but more than that, it's a revealing of your authentic self you've been hiding, you've been concealing. Life's a twist with massive turns, and life's a risk you're bound to learn. So be resolute, steadfast, remain firm. You owe it to yourself because your soul forever yearns for the chance to transcend this current version of you and access the unrelenting power lodged within you, giving you a grounded, comprehensive point of view while giving you a lens of compassion and view of you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is are you talking to yourself while you're dreaming?
Not necessarily. It's not. So the title of "Still Dreaming" is because I remember how the hook goes because it's somebody that sings the hook.
Yeah.
But the title of "Still Dreaming" is like, even though life is hard and these things have happened to me, I'm still dreaming.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're setting the stage to say, hey, don't lose hope, don't lose focus because of these things that are happening. This is all part of the process.
Right.
This is
Right. Right.
all.
Yeah. Yeah. So I see. What did you get out of it?
Um, honestly, I want to wait until you finish the song because I feel like you're setting up. I don't know if that's the first verse,
That
but
is
it's like what I came to mind is like, okay, I'm in a rut, or oftentimes in life we're just in that we're in the belly of the beast, right? We're just going through all these tough times, and we just looking up, like when you said connect to source, it's like sometimes we looking at God like, damn, dog, like can a nigga get a break? Like can like bruh, like I'm doing this and I'm doing everything. I feel like I'm doing everything right. You know what I mean? But it's like life is just not moving. Well, I can't see it at least. It's not moving in the way that I would want it to move. And then this voice is telling me like, bro, don't lose focus. Stay what Eric Spoelstra would say, stay the course. Right? Stay the course. So that's what I got from it there. Is like, okay, stay the course, stay the course. But at the same time, that's why I'm not waiting for the next verses because, or when you finish the song, because everyone has a threshold. You know, everyone has a limit as to where they want, like how much they can handle, right? And unfortunately, especially us men, the end of that threshold is usually suicide, right? So it's like life can beat you up so much where you feel like it's just better that I'm not here than to go through it at all. So those are the kind of the thoughts that were running through my mind.
well. I'll tell you this. Well, you're giving me some ideas because I don't know where I'm going with the second verse. I don't know where I'm going with it. That's the first verse. I'll
Mm-hmm.
let you know when I get there.
Mm-hmm. You feeling it through. Now it's funny that you say you don't know where you're going. I think that's a good segue into our main topic, where we're talking about an insecure man, right? And I know, just talking from my own personal experience, my insecurities showed up a little bit different. Some insecure men lead with their pocket or their dick size, right? Some lead with their athletic ability. You know, me, I led with my service, right? Which people pleasing was a big thing for me. If I serve people, if I please people, it will somehow destroy my insecurity and then highlight how valuable I am. Right? That's something that I do. So what triggered you, or what made you want to talk about an insecure man?
Well, for the points and the reasons that you just brought up, or the postures that we take, and you just,
Mm-hmm.
as you were saying, the different postures, I was like, what's my posture? My
Mm-hmm.
posture to hide up my, cover up my insecurities have been perfectionism.
Oh wow.
Like looking a certain type of way, looking like I'm unfazed, looking like nothing bothers me, looking like I don't feel, looking like I can just power through.
Mm-hmm.
That has been that's been my thing. Yeah. But I think
Let,
I definitely dabbled into the people pleasing. Yeah. I don't really think I did it with I dabbled it, but it wasn't one of the big things for me. But definitely
so,
the looking a certain type of way, looking unfazed.
let me ask you, because when you talk about looking unfazed and just powering through and perfectionism, I mean, we would consider that being stoic, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
that's from a societal standpoint, that is how a man is supposed to be. Like, like nothing phases you. Like you can take care of it. You a man's man, and you have no feelings. And I look a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
I look like I drive a Bugatti. So you know what I mean. Is what's wrong with that?
So there's a thin line that people don't recognize with that. There's nothing wrong to be stoic, like not acting, but nothing is phasing you. There's a difference between nothing phasing you and acting like nothing is phasing you. That's
Mm,
the line. Is your inner world matching your outer world? My inner world wasn't matching my outer world.
okay.
But guess what? For a long time, I didn't recognize that. I didn't know that it wasn't matching. But as certain things started to happen in my life and certain things began to be removed, certain people started to be removed, I started making decisions that were opposite from what I've always done. And the reception or the criticism or even praise that I got from people, it started to uncover like, oh, there's a level of insecurity that I had that I didn't realize that I had because I covered it up by acting as if everything was okay. I covered it
Mm,
up with performance. I covered it up by looking a certain type of way, my presence. But in reality, I was feeling afraid. I was feeling upset. I was feeling rejected. I was feeling neglected. I was feeling used. I didn't feel appreciated. I was feeling all of these things inside, but I suppressed it for so long that I didn't even recognize that it was an issue.
mm. And it's funny, we're walking into cuffing season, so I guess all the ladies that listen to this podcast, this is great for them to know what an insecure man looks like, right? What kind of things they portray. But so, what are some of the points that you wanted to bring to the audience today and cover when you're talking about an insecure man?
Yeah, so I recognize from the work that I've been doing on myself and in the work that I've been doing with so many men that there are three constant things that keep coming up when it comes to an insecure man.
Mm,
So, one thing that every insecure man wants, but they don't recognize it, is that they crave external validation.
mm,
And you need it constantly. And it's something that can be very subtle. So that could come through compliments. It could come through social media likes. It can come to, or just feeling the need to be chosen by a woman, like a work environment, some shape, way, or form. You feel as if you need it. Because if you don't get it, what is the conversation that you're having within yourself?
So, a lot of men love to say, well, I just don't feel appreciated.
Yeah.
So that could be a little
Mm-hmm.
confusing as far as what you deem appreciation. Because I feel like a lot of men, and I've been there too, they say, "Oh, I don't feel appreciated." What I really wanted was external validation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Because I'm still trying to like figure it out for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's if I am not connected to external validation, does that mean I never look for validation? Like I just keep doing things without ever getting any type of like pat on the back or applause? Do I just say, well, I know I've been doing good. I know this is a good thing to do, and I'm proud of myself for doing it, and I don't need anybody else. I mean, in theory, that sounds good, but I'm like, I don't know. It's like, do we not really? Do we? I think we need external validation. I
Mm.
do think we need it, but I think when you feel as if you have to have it, or when you're trying to get it from someone specifically,
Hmm.
I think that's when it becomes a big challenge.
Yeah, I think for me, and I still struggle with it. It's a work in progress. I realized that I was, as much as I wanted external validation, I had to audit myself and say, okay, kind of like your giant gratitude. How much am I telling myself no versus yes?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, am I really validating me? Am I really appreciating me? Because it's one thing if I appreciate me and now that person comes and adds their 2 cents, they add instead of trying to fill a void.
Yeah,
Does that make sense? Right?
for
It's one
sure.
thing, it's one thing to cook and you cooking the food and we just need to add a little bit of salt versus this chicken ain't got no seasoning at all.
Yeah.
You get, so that's my work where it's like, okay, even though I didn't get this praise from work or this girl that I'm talking to or my friends, am I praising myself? Am I appreciating myself and then aligning myself around people who see the light that I know that I have? Right? So it can be a little tricky. And that's why I'm glad you brought that up because I think a lot of times we need to audit ourselves as men because we sit there and say, man, my girl don't appreciate me. Don't appreciate. It's like, really? Because it's hard to appreciate you if I was your girl and you don't wash your ass. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just being real, okay? You funky. Like you don't be getting the cut every 2 weeks. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? You look rough, or you don't put you're not doing certain chores around the house to take that burden off of her so she has the energy to give you that appreciation. You get my drift?
Yeah,
So, we gotta work through that.
yeah. So even what you're saying right now, it just goes into how do you get out of that? How do you become a secure man? How do you move away from feeling like you need that external validation? And
Mm,
one of the things you have to be able to do is be able to sit in solitude and do things that make you feel good, that you can be proud of. Do things that you enjoy. Because what we don't recognize is that a lot of times when you are seeking this validation and you're not getting it, it's because when you were a child, there was something that was happening in your relationship with your mother that you weren't nurtured. And so now you're going on this subconscious quest to feel that nurturing from another woman,
mm-hmm,
and you're trying to get it by saying, oh, if she validates me, that means I'm worthy. That's the nurturing that you want. And you don't
mm-hmm,
recognize that that's what's happening. And some people, they have decent relationships with their mothers and they don't even recognize that that's an issue. Like they were not nurtured and they end up into these relationships where they're being needy. They always feel like they need validation. They're clingy, so on and so forth.
yeah. And before you go on to the next point, I will say one thing because there's a lot of different things you can do to validate yourself and make yourself secure. But one thing that I realized, men, grab a hobby. Some men who like you restore cars. Like you get we in South Florida, you get a dunk, you get an old Caprice, and you restore it. You work on that. Maybe coaching your neighborhood basketball team or soccer team, with the kids, doing sometimes me, I love cutting my grass. Like I love tending to nature and plants in that way. Like I take it very serious. Like that's a great hobby for me. I enjoy it. Just to sometimes I leave my house and I just like to look at how nice the grass is cut. And it makes me feel like, "Dog, Jerry, you did a good ass job." I'm like, yeah, I those type of things, just something that I know I'm doing that I want to pass along to the
Yeah.
men.
Yeah, and it's what you're saying is outside of anybody else's praise or applause or validation. That's why it's important for you to do things that you enjoy, do things that make you happy, not doing things that are going to make other people happy, where now you're dependent on them saying, oh, was it good? Did you like it? So on and so forth. Yeah.
Correct. What's the next point you have for us?
So an insecure man, we see this all the time. He competes instead of
Hmm.
connects.
Mm.
Yeah.
Damn. You taking it. That's like man one on one when I walk into a room.
Yo, you ever been in a situation, you're in a relationship with someone, like a friendship with another guy, and it's like every time you get around him, you always feel like he's trying to silently compete with you?
Yeah, yeah.
I hate that.
He was like,
I
oh, okay.
hate that.
Like we were talking about, it's like, oh, you got the Buffalinos? Okay, okay. But I got the hush puppies though. I got the hush puppies. You know what I'm saying? You got the ones, but I got you got the Jordan ones, I got the 11s though.
Yeah,
They just came out last week.
yeah, yeah,
And it's like, bruh, like, what are we doing here?
yeah. Who's smarter? Who's stronger? Who's more successful? Who has more money? Who gets more girls? It's like you're talking to him. It's like, yo, you telling them like, yo, I got this opportunity, whatever, whatever, blah 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 blah. Say, oh yeah, but but I got this, da, 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 man. And then it's like, nigga, can you
Okay.
celebrate what I'm doing for once in a while in your life? Like,
Exactly.
yeah.
It's
But
really tough. And I was
the
gonna
reason why
say,
that happens, I was gonna say the reason why that happens, men that do that is because deep down inside, they feel as if they're gonna be forgotten.
mm-hmm.
Deep down inside, they feel like essentially they feel less than. So comparison becomes their defense. Now they're comparing themselves and they're like, oh, well, I got this. Oh, he did that, so now I got to do this. Oh, he got a 2023 Benz. I'm gonna get 2025 Benz. It's like, bro, you're a child. Like that, you're insecure. Like you gotta always compete. And it's like that's just not. That's not it. Yeah.
When those type of men that compete instead of connect, um, what characteristics do you see they have later on in life? Like, because what comes to mind is like, I feel like those type of men deal at a high, like they perform at a high level because they've been competing for so long, and then they get to midlife time, a midlife age, and they feel like they don't even have real friends, like because they've never connected to it. Like it's like, okay, who's your closest confidant? I don't really have one of those. Like it's like they fall into solitude after a certain level of success, if that makes sense,
Yeah.
because they never connected.
No, yeah, it's true. And that's what I was trying to tell people. Like, at the end of the day, as you get older, relationships become more and more important.
Mm,
And you start to feel that because it's like you're climbing the mountain of success. You're climbing that mountain, you're going, you're achieving, you're accomplishing, you're competing, you're winning. But then you get there and you look around, nobody's there with you. You're gonna feel lonely. It's just because we are meant for connection. I don't care who you are. And the connection doesn't mean you have to have a wife and kids, but relationships. Do
correct.
you have good relationships? And the thing about it is, we don't recognize how much our insecurities, these defense mechanisms that we have, trying to make it seem as if we're trying to essentially cover up our insecurities and make it seem like we're bigger than what we are. We don't recognize that these things in themselves, they really impact our relationships in the long run. Because then now you're annoying because nobody want to fuck with you now. Nobody want to be around you.
That's tough. That's tough.
Yeah.
What is what's the other point you have? You said you have
Well,
to.
I can't just give you the other point. I got to tell you the way how to actually get over it. Like,
Oh, okay, okay, okay. I
yeah,
thought you
yeah,
were just
yeah.
shitting.
Yeah, yeah. You got to say how to change it. You just have to, first of all, you have the awareness that, oh, okay, yeah, I'm always competing because I feel less than. So you have to be able to admit that. And then the next step, you have to actively in real time when somebody's telling you something that they've achieved, you have to be able to tell yourself out loud, like, wow, that is great. That is good for them. That is inspiring. Instead of turning into, oh, they did this, now I have to do that. Because remember, the core of it is that you feel as if you're going to be forgotten. But that's a scarcity mindset. An abundance mindset will be like, dang, that's so inspiring. That's great. If he can do it, I can do it too. There's room for me as well. It doesn't have to be I'm up here, he's down here. Like, it doesn't have to be that way. Life is not binary like that. All of us can rise to the top. So you have to be able to say out loud to yourself, that's inspiring me. That's inspiring. If he can succeed, then success is there for me too. And this is his time. I'm going to have my time too. Because everybody has their time. So you have to know, I'm going to have my time too. So I would say, before you say that, one thing I would just bring to everyone's attention is being able to write it out. So just have a journal prompt. Because normally what it is, it's what do I secretly admire about that person that I want to embody?
Okay.
That's
Okay.
really
So
what it is.
there's a secret admiration there
Yeah.
in the back of the competition.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm.
Yeah.
So that's what the insecurity is hiding.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
should I say, not replacing but blocking.
Yeah, it's the ego.
It's
Yeah, it's your ego. Because you're insecure, you can't admit that, man, I like the way he does that. I like the way he went about doing that. Man, let me go ask him, man, how did you do that? Like, or let me applaud him, like, yo, that was really good. I want to do the same thing. Like, can you show me how you did that? Ego won't allow you. Ego won't allow you to do that. Your insecurities won't allow you to do that. What's going to end up happening is you're just going to try to one up that person. But really, there's something that you admire about how that person has done his thing. That's what humility is. See, the thing we don't recognize, when you're insecure, it's hard to be humble.
Yeah.
It's hard to be humble because then you got to go sit at that person's feet. Because if you sit at that person's feet, the belief that's going to come up in your mind is like, damn, man, I'm less than. Man, I should be able to figure this out on my own. How come he can know how to do it and I don't know how to? See, all those different stories and all those different thoughts are going to start flooding you because you're anchored in that insecurity, you're anchored in ego. But when you have an abundance mindset, when you are used to celebrating others for what they do, when you understand that everybody can rise to the top, everybody can win, when you know and you believe that everybody has their time and their moment, it will be easy for you to be like, yo, that's what's up. Like, yo, I'm happy for you, man. You applaud that person, you're inspired by them, and then you ask them like, yo, but how did you do that? Like I'm trying to do the same thing too.
So this is my ghetto therapist act right here. So if I was given someone advice, would I, let's say they're at a networking event or they're just, in a room with new people, and then someone says their accomplishments, could I tell that person, hey, just stay quiet unless they ask you what your accomplishments are? Would that be good advice?
Well, if they struggle with that,
Correct. If they struggle with that, if that person is an insecure man and they're meeting someone for the first time and that person is talking about, I went to school for this and I got an award for that, that energy, you're going to feel, the insecure man's going to be like, well, I went to, I was in Ivy League. I was in this and
yeah.
I got this. So I would tell that person, hey, just listen, stay silent, ask the question like you said, oh, how did you do that? Because I admire that. And then don't say anything about your accomplishments unless that person asks.
Yeah, I think that would be a good practice because it's all about feelings.
Mm-hmm.
So when you sit there and you don't ask, you need to be able to really pay attention to how you're feeling when you do that. Because now your feelings are the check engine light to your beliefs. They're going to tell you how you truly feel about yourself, how you see yourself, what you believe about yourself. So if you stay quiet in that moment and you actively just decide not to say anything and you're leaning more into what that person has going on and what they have done and their accomplishments, your feelings are going to tell you everything. If you start to feel inadequate, if you start to feel insecure, if you start to feel small, that's telling you something. That's
So that's
showing
good
you
data.
that. Yeah, it's data. Yeah, it's showing you that, hey, you got to really look into this a lot more because you shouldn't be feeling this way. You shouldn't be feeling jealous. Yeah.
Okay. Well, what's point number three?
Number three, an insecure man. mm, He always try to control things when he feels unsafe. Try to control the outcomes. Try to control conversations. You try to control your partners or people, like relationships in general. And the thing that's crazy because it's subtle.
Yeah.
The the control is masked by leadership or having standards.
So I was gonna ask you because I'm like, how do I know I'm not? Because I'm a man. I'm a problem solver. So how do I know this situation doesn't call for me to use my problem solving skills versus I'm just trying to control the situation or the narrative?
Because it's all about the emotions. How are you feeling? Are you afraid? Because someone who's overly controlling is really they're rooted in anxiety and fear.
This is
So
tough.
yeah, it's very tough. It's interesting because I was having a session with a client earlier today, and he's someone who avoids confrontation, and
Yeah.
that has caused him issues in his marriage.
Yeah.
And what I had to show him, like, yeah, you avoid because you're afraid of the tension and you know whatever's going on between you and your wife. But I said, understand, it's not just you avoiding. There's also the other side of that where there's a wisdom there. You recognize that, hey, in this situation, in this current moment, things are getting heated, it's getting hostile, and we're not going to get to a good place here. So let me detach and disconnect from this conversation and let's table it. That's wisdom. That's not avoidance,
Mm.
that's wisdom. But then it takes trial and error for you to recognize, am I being avoided or am I being wise in this moment? So
Okay.
it's the same thing.
Okay.
Am I being controlling or I'm actually helping and leading? See, that's the inner work. And nobody can really tell you per se what it is. You have to be able to see like within yourself, oh, I'm being fearful right now. You have to be able to see that, okay, where is this coming from? Is it coming from a place of anxiety and fear? Or is it coming from a place of you really trying to help and do the best for everyone involved? And there's a thin line there. That's why doing the inner work is so important. That's why, as men, as we do this podcast, the thing that we push all the time is being honest with how you feel. A lot of us don't even know how we feel. So if you don't even know how you feel, there's no way you can get to a point to recognize, oh, am I being controlling or am I leading? Am I being avoided or am I being wise? It all starts with how you feel. That's why when you said, oh, should I just not say anything in the moment and just let them talk about their comment, never say anything about myself until they ask me? The reason why that's important because there are feelings that are going to come up. You're going to feel inadequate. You're going to feel jealous. You're going to feel insecure. You're going to feel small. You're going to feel less than. That is information that's telling you, bro, you're insecure. And now there's a work to be done. Now you can start doing that work. It's the same thing. If I'm not in control, how do I feel? And the best way to go about solving that is simple as small things. For example, one thing is just letting people take control over small things, just minor things.
Mm.
Like, okay, well, you want the couch on the left side, man. Your wife wants it on the right side. Let her have it on the right side. Okay, just little things. Oh well, you're used to certain things being a certain type of way, like waking up at a certain time, getting the kids ready, so on and so forth. Things have to be, and then when it's not that way, you're freaking out. Okay, well, guess what? Practice just letting things be, just small things. And the crazy thing is, when you're such a control freak and you're so rooted in anxiety and fear, you can't even recognize what's small and what's large. So that's a whole nother thing in itself. You can't even recognize that, yo, the kid's waking up late today and leaving the house 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later than we're supposed to. You don't even recognize that that's a small thing.
Hmm. So how do we? This is my insecurity coming up, especially if I'm in a relationship. It could be any relationship. It could be romantic, marriage, friendship. How do I know? It's hard for me to ask this because I don't want to get taken advantage of. Because sometimes people will say, even though you're controlling, your leadership they like it because you always take control of the situation.
Yeah.
So that's how I get my external validation. So I'm feeding that insecurity from good things, so to speak.
Yeah.
Right.
So your thing is that you don't want to be taken advantage of by always controlling the narrative and the outcome, so on and so forth, which is understandable. But that's why I believe it's important for you to take a step back in the small things and be like, yeah, I'm not going to do this time. You got it.
Okay.
That's really what it is. Relinquishing control just in the small, minor things. And again, seeing how you feel. So I would say a good journal prompt for that would be, what am I afraid of will happen if I stop trying to control everything?
Okay. So let me ask you this. Outside of my journal, outside of my therapist, is it good or would you recommend me sharing my insecurities with someone else? Because I think that's a level of vulnerability that a lot of men struggle with.
For sure. Yeah.
So
I think it is healthy to share your vulnerabilities with other men. I personally do. I've done it for so long, and I've never regretted doing it one time. I think a lot of times we think that people are going to use it against us, or they're going to think I'm this. No, it's really the opposite. I'm like, damn, this nigga shared this shit. Like, man, because normally it's like, damn, I didn't know you went through that. Like, I go through that too. So now there's a level of connectivity and a depth in the relationship that you have now that you didn't have before. So I do think it's good. Now I ain't gonna tell you go always like dumping on people and be like, oh, I'm going through this, I'm going through that. Like, that's just overkill. But in context, you're sharing certain things. It's like I think it's healthy.
So even in that
that builds
situation,
community.
That's exactly the next point I was going to say. So even in the situation where I'm meeting someone and they're giving me their accomplishments and then I'm staying quiet on mine, then I'm telling them how much I admire them. I could even bring up and say, hey, I had this insecurity in that moment. How did you overcome that? Because I see that you accomplished this and now we can I can connect instead of competing.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. Makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
All right. So maybe I could charge people half the price to do this therapy thing. I won't take insurance though. I give you cash. Oh man. Any last thoughts?
Yeah, man, I'll just say to all my men out there, don't be afraid to admit that you struggle. Man, everybody has something that they're dealing with. But we just allow success to determine whether somebody has issues or not. Everybody, whether you're successful or not, everybody has some sort of inner challenge. Everyone does. I remember just the other day I was telling you how Cameron was saying like he felt desperate and pressured to get a record deal because Mace got signed with Bad Boy back in the day. And it got him into a bad record deal. I was like, dang. You see, so we don't recognize that, even people who are building and are growing, who are doing certain things, and we admire them, even those we admire, they have insecurities too. So don't ever think that your insecurities have to define you. Don't feel like you're less than, and we all have them. You just got to work through yours. That's it.
With that being said, bro, I love you.
I love you too. Until we pod again.
Thank you so much for joining us. And remember, the man that says he can and the man that says he can't are both right. Which one are you?
Street cred was a major priority, and no respect for any authority. If you love school, you were in the minority. Can't be yourself, only way was conformity. In the dark I pray.